podcast stupid. Now it's podcast stupid. Now it's podcast stupid.
Happy Thursday, friends and funsters. Dan is here. Debbie is here.
Yay.
We are Nice Podcast Stupid. Deb, how are you this fine evening, my lady?
I'm doing good, doing pretty good. Just
I think
pop
we're
some.
up against Karmic. We might be cutting into our crowd tonight, so I'm sorry. You know, it might be a small crowd with everybody checking out what Karmic's up to today. That wacky Karmic guy. He's so fucking nuts. We're gonna go easy on him though, because we'll save Karmic for another day. Hey Kayla, how are you?
Hi Kayla, darling. Good to see you.
See Lady KB in the chat.
Hi KB.
The pretty antisocial gals were floating around before.
All right, Andrew.
Thanks everybody
Zodiac.
for joining. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's Thursday night. We are past Memorial. We're in the summertime. It's summertime. I got the t-shirt on.
Me too. Yeah.
How's the weather down in Florida there, Deb?
It's in the 90s.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Is it raining? Is it rainy up there?
Yeah, we've been having a lot of rain. It's been weird. It seems like every other day has been rain. It's been a cold, rainy spring, but we're here. June is on the precipice. We're doing it. We're fucking
here.
doing it.
We're queer like Dave Sarah. Yay.
We're here. We're queer like Dave Sarah. So yeah, we got a special guest, a returnee to the show coming up in a little bit. But before we do that, because I'm gonna be a negative Nancy today. I'm gonna be bad Dan.
No.
I'm gonna put the black hat on today, and I'm gonna be mean and nasty to people. So before you do that, you got to show a little bit of kindness and respect to people before you go and get on the nasty route. So, I put it up in the chat. We popped it up before, but you guys probably know the Steel Toe Morning Show starring Aaron Imholt and his co-host, Mr. Johnny Crutches. Johnny is in the process of I want to get this right, and I'm not saying this to be funny or anything, but my understanding is he lives with his ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend in like the basement, and he has to move out from there or there's some sort of situation. There is a GoFundMe. Let me put it up here. That's not what I wanted to do. Here we go. Help a cribble.
Cribble.
Help a fribble get a frib. Help a cripple get a crib. I'm asking. We are like about a week or two away from getting our monetization back. We finally got the hours back. We had to build it up from scratch. We're very excited about that. But in lieu of anything that you could give to us, if you were, let's say you were going to send a $2 super chat and make fun of me being bald or something, send it to Johnny Crutches tonight. Give him a couple of bucks. He's only raised $223 so far. He needs about $3,000 to help with this move. I think we all know Johnny Crutches is. Now he's got the co-host Aaron, who we all know Steel Toe. He likes to do the begging, right? Where it's like, PayPal, Venmo, Rumble Rants, so on and so forth. Well, it's funny. Somebody put in his chat the other day about, hey, can you promote Johnny? And let's get Johnny some money for his thing. And this is what Aaron came up with. Let me see if I can share this. In typical Aaron fashion, just complete lack of empathy or complete really like any effort to really help Johnny out. This is what Aaron, his very faithful co-host, came up with.
Says, in fairness, I think Johnny getting a new place to live is higher in demand. Aaron, let Johnny live with you. I can't do that. No. And I don't understand. Like, Johnny is disabled. Like, the government will pay for him to live somewhere.
Don't they have Meals on Wheels for these guys? Don't they have?
Don't they serve them lobster and stuff and steak?
Don't they just pick them up and wheel them around town and, no big deal?
I don't understand that part. Like, I know disabled people, shut up. And disabled people get grants and shit from the government to live certain places. So I don't know.
Can you stop this here real quick?
By the way, did you see him looking at his phone? He could be like, he's like barely even cares about like answering this. He's already like fumbling with his phone.
Now, I wanted to say that the waiting list for disabled housing, senior citizen housing, Section 8, often is 10 to 15 years. And in a place like St. Cloud, Minnesota, I can't imagine there's many housing units available to begin with. So it's not like you just fill out a form and you get a grant, they give you a free apartment. There's a long waiting list in huge cities. Like when I lived in Philly, I knew people that were on disability that were waiting for housing for years. So it's not just something you snap your fingers and get. I just wanted to
make a phone call. Hey, can I get that cripple housing? Can you hook me up with the penthouse? And
yeah. I want the one with the gym, even though I can't use it. I just want that. I want the one with the pool.
Shitload of paperwork, and and Johnny probably, yeah. Maybe, hey, Aaron, if you know how to do this, maybe help him out. Help your buddy out. Like, maybe help him, take him down to the court or whatever, or we got to fill out the paperwork. But yeah, it's just his whole tone is just kind of dismissive. Shouldn't he get free stuff from the government? Is he
hasn't looked into it, or maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. But somebody put Johnny's Venmo or his GoFundMe in there. I prefer to do the Venmo, but you guys go ahead and link it in the chat. And once we hit the goal, we'll pin that to the top of the page. And if we go over, we'll throw it into Johnny's stuff. Fanatical Bucks fan says Johnny said he works too much from what he said. Well, so should I, like, if I pay him less, would that help him? I mean, like, what if so wait, is Johnny trying to say, like, if I cut his pay, he could get more benefit? I don't understand. I don't understand how a lot of that government shit works. A lot of that government shit works in opposition to how you think it should work. It's government.
So yeah, Aaron has it all figured out. He's very helpful for Johnny. So I'll throw that up one more time. It is a GoFundMe. We've got the link. I pinned it to the chat. Yeah, I'd love to see us, throw a couple bucks there. Don't kill yourself, and if you can't do it, don't do it. I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm going to throw a couple bucks,
Yeah, me too.
Way. I'm blessed. I am very lucky. I have a nice house, job, situation. I don't have MS, which I'm very happy about, because that is an awful, debilitating disease. I had an aunt that has MS, or I should say, have an aunt that has MS, and it is a lifelong struggle. It is a horrible, painful disease. It flares up and it just ruins, everything you got going on in your life. So, if you can see it in your heart to throw Johnny a couple bucks, go for it.
Even like $5, $2.
$5, yeah.
Yeah,
$5 will go a long way. So that's our good deed for the day, and that'll allow us to be nasty, or at least I can be nasty. Deb, you're the nice one. You're everybody likes Deb, right? You're the sweetheart, and Dan's kind of the nasty guy who always tells you what's on his mind.
$2 Chuck there. I swear, every time I randomly turn a show on, one of your $2 bangers is up on the screen.
Yeah, I had one today with Chad and Gino. So yeah, because I don't want to spoil. We'll talk about what we said to Gino today, but Speaking of people that I can beat in a 100-meter dash, speaking of cripples that need your love, we've got a special guest that everybody knows and loves. Let's bring him on. How was that for a big market segue, right? From one cripple to the next. Quad Father, how are you, brother?
Wow, I'm great. Thanks for having me on. To hell with Johnny Crutches and GoFundMe. Let's put a bunch of money together for a prize fight. Me and Johnny to the death, and whoever survives gets the prize money. That would be way better than raising money for Johnny Crutches.
I think it would be funny if we did like a Dabbleverse Special Olympics where we kind of match people up that are, that have issues. And, you and Johnny obviously would kind of have the cripple off. You could have maybe do like a triathlon where like you got to do half of it on your arms and then half in a chair or a third in a chair and then maybe a duel at the end or something, something.
We could do like a idiot off with like Clearwater Chad and Joey
I was
C.
going to say Clearwater Chad would definitely be
like,
involved in the special.
Then we could do the insane off with Karmic X
Karmic.
and some other loony Felicia, maybe. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk
psycho.
about them later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely will. Quad, what's new with you, brother? What's good and
What,
exciting?
since last night? Not a lot.
You haven't seen you in so long, man. What's new?
We missed you. That's why we
long
brought
time
you
no
back.
see.
I had fun. That's always good to let loose on your show. I get a kick out of it. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Quad,
Nah,
what would you say is the
Great
current?
guests, and it's always awesome having you. I guess I had you on separately there for.
Yeah, we did, and then we were like two ships passing in the night. I figured once Deb came on, I'm like, all right, good. I got a
He
chance
did
to
his Irish goodbye dip.
my
Yeah.
Irish goodbye. And I gotta come up with like a little like trick that I do with that. But sometimes it's just good to just disappear. That's what I do at a party.
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
Mamas and leave. That's cool. That's good enough.
just see you later. And of course, I stole your thing at the end of my shows. I love doing that. I'm just like trying to catch somebody in the middle of something. So
Yeah.
now that I gave it away, now I won't be able to trick Quad. Quad will know better to get caught by his own game. But what do you think?
You probably still get me.
I can still get you. What do you think, Quad, is the state of the? I hate this word, but I'll say it. The state of the Dabbleverse. So it seems like if I'm, seeing things, there's, why don't you? I don't want to say it. You tell me. What do you think is the deal? We're coming off Hackamania. We're coming off of the Ricada steel toe stuff. You've got Chad doing his thing. Like, who's on the Iron Throne of the Dabbleverse? What's the state of the union here right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kevin's always going to be the evil guy that's just putting everybody in their places. But yeah, it does seem like everything's calmed down a little bit. Hackamania wrapping up, and I don't know, there isn't that many controversies out there. Plus, I think it's a combination of summertime as well, because it always slows down during summertime. So I think we're in a little bit of a lull here for the summer. People are going to be doing vacations, worried about other stuff. And unless something crazy happens, it's just going to cruise into fall just like this. But that's the thing about the Dabbleverse. There are enough characters. There's enough new characters coming in with like Karmic X, for example,
Right.
that there's always something to cover. So even though it might seem slow, I say that on the weekly Dabble review all the time. It seems like, it's going to be another boring week. And by Sunday, there's so much shit to cover. I can't cover it all in 3-hour plus show. So every time I tell myself that, like, oh, there's nothing happening. The Dabbleverse is dead. There's another week's worth of content. So the nuances of the Dabbleverse, it's just, there's always shit to cover, man.
Yeah. What my theory is there
numbers are down. Have you noticed that?
Numbers are down right across the board.
All the
Everybody's
way
super
across the board.
chats are down. seems like, yeah, there's a lot of, I got to get a new chair. This thing always falls down. Seems like there's a lot of quiet desperation, right, of certain people where they're just realizing that this thing might not be as sustainable as I thought it might have been before, whether it be Shuley, whether it be Chad. Even Kevin Brennan's numbers are down a little bit unless he gets, his permaseals or whoever kind of shows up. But the other thing that I've noticed too is there's a lot of these like chatter shows now. Like everybody, like it seems like everybody's a personality now, and people would say, "Oh, Dan, you're the biggest culprit of that." But I've been kind of doing this for a while, so like I'm not totally that. But you've got Johnny Cochran doing fish videos.
Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson.
The greatest late nighter ever. No.
Johnny Cochran. Yeah, Johnny Carson doing fish videos.
Fishmonger. I like that. I like that word.
I like that.
Teamster Tim, I've seen on videos with people. Lady KB did it one show and then deleted it right away because she was embarrassed. You've got Dave, Sarah, obviously Shmuel, and then people like us, and so there's like this whole other, and of course, and we can't obviously not mention, like you said before, Karmic X, who is the hottest guy in the Dabbleverse. What do you think is the appeal of somebody like a Karmic X? Why is he getting so many views when he's kind of a little bit of a clown show?
That's why he's getting views, is because he's a clown show. He's highly volatile. He's all over the place. He even seems like he may have some mental issues. He's even talked about that. The trolls in this universe, they actually don't want people to do well. I don't know if you're aware of that, but they're waiting for this guy to have like an episode, or they think maybe he'll mess up, do something crazy because he's an alcoholic. How many people have we watched like falling apart? Ski Mask, Mr. Kill Everything, the alcoholics, the whatever. It's bound to happen. Watching this guy, he seems like a loose cannon. He's got a loose nut. He's about to do something foolish any day now. He seems pretty level-headed when he goes on MLC, but when he's doing his own show, like, he's all over the place, man. It's only a matter of time before something happens, and the audience is there to see something happen. They're not there because the guy's like a great entertainer. Plus all that music and that weird porn AI stuff. It's like, what the hell?
You don't like the big jugs,
man.
Borderlines. You don't believe in borderlines, Quad?
I don't believe in them. I'll never believe in borderlines now that I know what they are. I hate them. I hate borderlines. I hate ghost parties. I hate flying to the sun. I hate all of that stuff. It's weird. Worst songs ever created.
Do you ever get high and drink when you're coming on, or do you? What's your poison?
No, I don't even do that when I'm going on other people's podcasts. I do. I mean, the most I do is edibles, and I quit taking edibles because, like, I would go on Ray's show and I would sit there for an hour. And Ray's show is probably the one that it's okay to like take edibles, but if you actually want to use your brain and go on someone else's podcast or do my own podcast, like, why handicap yourself right off the bat? And that's
I think I actually saw one of the ones when you were on edibles with Ray, because you were just kind of like sitting there, sort of like stoned out of your gourd, and it's like, what? And you're like, how did I get myself here? Like, what is going on right now?
Literally, like, when you're high, you're like, I want to go do something else. I don't want to sit here and talk to Ray DeVito. It's weird sitting there that high and then having a guy like, just say like the same word over and over and over again. It's like, what am I doing with my life? I'm hanging out with Ray DeVito.
Deb, I heard you go off on Karmic a little bit last night. What was that all about?
I don't know. I'm just tired of his show. Now, I like Karmic. I do. But his show stinks. I mean, I can only see somebody drunkenly ranting about people for so long, and I lose interest. I know people love a train wreck. I know that's what they liked about Mr. Kill Everything. But having, like, known Karmic for a while, I like the other side of him. he is a reasonable dude when he's not drunk. He's a nice dude. He's real level headed and low key. And what I'd like to see him do is do some maybe in real life vlogging where he shows us like his farm. Because he lives in this like really small town way up north near the Canadian border. I'd like to see him maybe like show us like his day to day in the town. Go to the store and these little. A lot of us are from urban areas or densely populated suburban areas, and we're not familiar with these like little things. So it's not a knock on Karmic the person, but the show just like bores me to tears now because it's just him ranting and he's stringing words together, but it's like he's having a vocabulary dump. And nothing is connected and nothing really makes a lot of sense. It's just he's just dumping words he knows. If that makes sense to you guys. That's how I feel.
Approximation of the deterioration of the it's like he strings vocab words together.
Word salad, like he just rambles on in circles. It is kind of amazing when you think about him sitting there by himself doing a 6-hour show, and he never stops really talking except for doing his breaks. And it all seems very coherent and lucid. It seems like it makes sense. But if you really, like you said, if you really
listen,
break down what he's saying, there's no substance there at all. It's vapid.
Absolutely. Vapid is an apt way to describe that.
It's kind of like performance art, but I don't think that that's what he's doing. I think it's really just stream of consciousness, and he, like as you were saying, Quad, there's some synapses that are synapsing properly in his cerebellum, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess maybe most people in the Dabbleverse seem to have like a screw loose to some degree, just to be capable to do a stream in the first place. I guess you gotta, but he really buys his own hype that he's a big up and coming huge thing. I see he just kind of started like his new channel. He's got big designs. He's got high hopes. He thinks he's going to be the next something. And he's already discounted the Dabbleverse as being beneath him and that he's like one step away from stardom. He really believes that shit. So, I think getting 100 people watching him live, like it's more than he's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty cool. I'm doing a good job. No, he's like, no, he thinks he's going to be having thousands of viewers here very soon. And I hate to tell him.
He got really caught.
The 100 people in your chat, 75 of them are trolls. And you don't have a clue what's about to happen.
He just like I said, he's getting some super tips, so he feels good. He thinks he's gonna make 6 figures, and he got a really I thought at first it was like a wrestling persona and a character, but I think he really does like believe his own hype. And at first week or two of him, I said to Dan the same thing. Oh, I love this guy. This is unexpected. From what I know of Karmic, I said, oh, this guy's pretty interesting to watch. But that really wore off. And how much can you watch with streaming? The same thing. Like I like the guys at Clowntown, but I'm not going to watch 12 hours of them. I might pop in, check it out for a little bit. But I'm not watching anybody, for that long.
All of these things are very niche, and they're, and there's a certain charm to kind of being, kind of crazy and kind of not having any rules and, getting wasted on, camera or whatever. But, and I think each Quad, you said it before, people are going to turn on him. It's already starting to kind of the turn. I could do like my little. This Quad right now. The turn is coming. You could tell, like people are, and even like half the stuff is there's a little bit of a wink. We're here trolling you a little bit, bro. Like, you see Chow in the chat and some of the other people. You could kind of know what's going on. This was
I
oh,
don't
sorry.
think he understands the trolling part of it, though. He's been around the Dabbleverse. It's not like he's new to the Dabbleverse, so maybe he's a little bit impervious to being fucked with. But yeah, like I don't know how much of the trolling he actually understands.
I don't think he thinks it applies to him. And even if he blew up, it would be because he became an official lolcow. I mean, there's really no
He really
other
does think he's a
direction to go.
performer. He thinks he's like a hot shit. He really does. Like,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
thinks that he's like he does, like he's wearing the Dice Clay jacket. He kind of is like taking on almost like a northern Minnesota Dice Clay persona. Maybe not exactly, but he really
Think about that.
sniffing his
Think
own
about living in northern Minnesota and owning a Dice Clay jacket.
Right.
Like, what's the occasion you're wearing this thing? Do you just wear it and like look in the mirror and do dice bits? Like, what are we doing with a dice jacket before you streamed? Think about
He
that.
probably,
It's
yeah,
wild.
I bet you he's had this for a long time. And he,
Yeah.
like, I don't, you know,
How?
like,
What the fuck?
you know what I mean? They're not
Confusing.
selling Dice Clay vinyl jackets anymore, you know.
And he's 40 years old, right? He's like a 40-year-old
41
man.
or 42. He's about the same age as Felicia.
He's sort of having a little bit. It's almost like, and I'm never going to do this again. I did it for this fucking guy. I will never do this again. Word, Scout's honor, God, you know, whatever. I reached out to him because I thought the guy was relapsing. I thought I was watching Leaving Las Vegas a couple weeks ago with this guy. And I felt, if I don't reach out, if people are like laughing at him and watching this guy drink himself to death and nobody says anything, like that's pretty cruel. So I reached out. I said, "Hey, dude, you know," and I've done this with other people that I can tell are having issues. And I'm like, "Hey, if things are, you know, if you have a, you know, you want to talk to somebody, or you're going through like a relapse thing or something, like, you know, number one, take a break. Don't do 10 hours of shows a day. Take a little time off. Work on yourself. If you want to talk to somebody, I'm, you know, here to do it. Now, I'm not Shmuel Buckman. I'm not going to put you through the 12-step program or whatever, but
Right.
I thought I'd be nice to reach out." And he was, and of course, just like a typical alcoholic drunk, he was like, "Oh yeah, no, thanks, man, thanks." And you know, and then they take that advice for about half a day, and then they're back, you know, drinking half a handle of Crown Royal the next day, you know, pouring on. It's like, all right, I'm out. You're okay. You're on your own, and but I won't. You just got to let these people do their own clown show and see where it ends up. This was funny though. This was, I think, 2 nights ago. He had, you recognize this face, right? Right, Quad? This lovely lady.
Oh yeah, Felicia, of course.
So Deb and I were kind of messaging. We're like, we got to get these two hooked up. We gotta make a love connection with these two, because wouldn't it be great? Because she won't leave Pat alone. He won't leave Taz alone. So it's like, all right, let's pair these two crazy kids up. So,
I got an even better idea.
What's that?
Polycule.
Oh, there you go.
No, they don't end well, apparently.
A lot of cum eating going on in these polycules.
Karmic X, is he going to be the one eating semen off of? I'm sorry, I went too far. Never mind, I take it back.
I just want to play a little bit of this because this was pretty funny from the other night.
You gotta get into each other's heads. You gotta get into each other's pockets. Comes with the territory. You gotta get into each other's minds and lives.
No, they can't have a symbiotic relationship.
No.
His is parasitic.
Yeah, I believe it. And everything that I have seen over the last year, you know, kind of comes to fruition with exactly what I see, and with Pat Dixon particular. Sorry, I got a super tip I gotta commit to. Nice podcast, Soup.
Do the last one so they get their $3 worth.
Exactly. Karmic, stop beating around her bush and ask her out. Well, I know I live.
Quad, do you think he asks her out? Do you think he takes my advice here? Or how do you think the Karmic takes this advice with this one?
Maybe he just asked her, "Hey, Felicia, how do you like AI porn? Would you like to come over to my place and watch some with me?
Could I take your picture and put
Yeah.
46 triple H tits on you and animate you, Felicia?
Live a certain life that's not conducive to a livelihood that most people are living their nice podcast stupid. So I'm not going to ask people out flippantly. You
What are
know,
you, gay?
I guess that's what he's meaning. And if I don't ask a woman out, I must be gay.
No, what I'm trying to do is trying to get you fucking hooked up, brother. This guy's got no bitch. Like, come on, like she's vibing you, dude. Like she's like the fact that she put on the sunglasses and she's all cashed out and kind of looks like she's might be a little wasted. Deb, you think Karma could get her, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But he
I
has
think
They're
they,
both train wrecks. Jesus.
I mean, I think that they're perfect together, and I think that they would actually probably help each other in a way. I do. I think that they need companionship.
who's a cuter couple, these two or Mr. Kill and Ashley Cummings?
These two.
I agree.
But no, that's just not me. I'm like, if anybody's a guest on my podcast, I thank them from the bottom of my heart. I'm not gonna go, hey Felicia, would you go out on a date with me? That doesn't work in the real world.
I'd hang out with you for sure, though. I mean, if we were
See, come on, Karmic, dude, she's fucking vibing on you, man.
She's got the cigar there, phallic
Yes.
symbol.
She puts the cigar in her mouth.
She's
I
got
Like
the-
Monica Lewinsky. Yeah.
Yeah. She's kind of paying an homage to him with these sunglasses,
Yeah. And well, here's the other thing too. Like she definitely travels the country.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
so she'll probably be driving right past him at some point, like Minneapolis, etc. They're highly likely to be within the near vicinity. So yeah, most ladies that Karmic X would ask out probably absolutely would never even be in his neighborhood. But she, on the other hand, possibly could actually be out his way or driving right.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
she drives everywhere, doesn't she? She doesn't use like airplanes.
Shmuel's right though. She would never leave. Like she'd stay there. It's like, well, I got nowhere else to go, so I'll guess I'll crash at Karmic's pad here.
But, I mean, it's all, and you know what? They should do a show together because he's running out of steam. This is, like I said, it's not sustainable.
You've never tried meth before, have you, Debbie?
No.
Is that what you think he's
Yeah.
doing? You think he's on the
Okay. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
I know a meth head when I see one,
Yeah.
man. Sorry to say it.
Yeah. Well, that's why apparently, I don't know if it was Patrick Melton or somebody speculated that he's wearing the sunglasses because his pupils are like blown out from.
Yeah, he took his glasses off one of the few times I've watched
Mhm.
recently. And I could tell his eyes are huge.
Yeah.
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 we're in the same place, we'd fucking hang out.
Oh fuck yeah, in a heartbeat.
Look at her
Hang
drawing that
out.
cigar.
That's all I'm looking for is a hangout. Just bullshit. Maybe watch something funny and say, hey, we have something in common. If we don't, so be it.
You
That's
got to
how
come
I
to a
look.
stand-up comedy show. You said you've never seen one.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's true. And it makes sense. I looked at Pat as a person from the outside looking in, and all it took for me is
You got to
people.
read that other super tip that came in, the one before this one.
Yes, I'll play that up. So nice podcast stupid says for $3. Seriously, you two should bone the sick at the Pat. Well, Felicia's been through a lot of shit.
You're gonna fuck up my life, Karmic. That
Felicia's
wouldn't-
been through enough shit already. So
Yeah.
let's leave her be. Let her
No, but-
relax.
Well, that wouldn't stick it to him anyway. He doesn't give a fuck. The thing, I
right.
mean, the only thing that really sticks it to him is like being successful, which
Yeah.
I have qualities that he will never have. And he fucking hates that about me. Pat's one of these guys where it's like, I remember one time he said he like we went somewhere, we got back home, and he goes, "Everybody likes you," and he was so turned
Perturbed.
off by that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Everybody likes you, Felicia. It's very very interesting. Yeah, it doesn't take much to get Felicia back on the Pat train. All you got to do is say Pat's name, and then poor Carmick, he's an afterthought. But I think these two crazy kids could make it happen. I really do.
For the record, I've never actually heard anybody say like, "Yeah, I think I would like Felicia," in real life. Whatever. I've talked to a lot of people about Felicia, but yeah, I was gonna say, did she like reveal? She unbuttoned a lot of her blouse. I thought it was like I said, it looked like a hospital gown there for a minute, but then I
He was
realized,
throwing all kinds of vibes at him.
yeah.
I think he might be gay, to be honest. Like he was not picking up any of these. She was throwing like every kind of, I want to hump your bones, things out at him, and he was not picking up any.
I
of
don't think he has real deep down. I don't think he has any self-confidence. I really don't. That's what this whole. He lost the job. I guess he used his 401k. He was forced to use that. But like when he's normal, because there's like these two sides of him. When he's the Karmic that I like, he's very low key, very mellow, and he's in a small town. They probably, everybody knows everybody. I believe he was married actually at one point. I think he had mentioned he had been married. So when you go through a divorce, sometimes your self-confidence takes a hit as well. So his choices are limited.
He's
Northern Minnesota.
He's out in BFE, Minnesota too, and I noticed like the fact that he made all that weird AI porn video music stuff.
Yeah.
It screams like he's just created this fake world that he lives in.
Right.
Because he's not good with real interactions or doesn't want to deal with them anymore, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, he's just a trippy dude. But I did hear that he wrote porn scripts for 20 years. I don't know. Are you guys aware of this?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Oh, okay. So there's a whole other
that?
side of this dude. Before the corporate thing, apparently he was writing porn scripts for 20 years, he said.
Did he talked about this on one of his streams?
Many times.
I
popped in one time and heard him talking about it. Yeah, and apparently he wrote mostly lesbian porn script.
Interesting.
Well, that's a lot of guys' fantasies anyway,
Well, the other kind of porn usually is like, "Hey, did you order this pizza?"
Right.
Yeah. But, okay. So, but I guess maybe there's more monologue. Maybe there's more lines in a lesbian porn.
Oh, so this wasn't like this wasn't what I'm thinking is I'm thinking it's like the guy and the girl, and then they call DoorDash or something, and the woman comes in and she's next thing you know it's a threesome. No, he just wrote lesbian porn, but there was no guy in this.
You probably love those heavy metal magazines.
Bill got a good one there. That's fucking hilarious.
Quad, you remember heavy metal magazines? You ever see those?
Oh
back in the day?
Yeah.
I bet I guarantee.
Oh, okay. Yes,
stuff,
I remember this. Yes.
Okay. The funniest thing is, I don't even want to say whatever. You can't really go look at it, but if you go look at his Twitter and you go back to the oldest photos that he has and the oldest videos that he has on his Twitter, go do it now, and everybody better log the shit out of it, because if he hears this, he probably is going to erase it. There's some wild shit there, and it's very much in this theme. It looks very similar to that. It's 1980s, you know what I mean? It looks vintage.
Like
but yeah, the ladies' boobs are way bigger and it's insane. Everybody go look at his Twitter right now and go check it out. The oldest photos and videos. It's fucking weird.
I might have to try to pull up some of them on.
Yeah,
That
not
yeah,
put on
let's
the
take a
Do it
screen.
on here because you'll get in trouble,
Oh,
guaranteed.
okay.
It's that bad.
Yeah, all right, we'll stay away from that.
Checking
But
Twitter.
speaking of things that we can bring up and other kind of craziness, and really who I wanted to talk about today. Speaking of people that are front of mind for the Dabbleverse,
Another porn star.
another adult actress, Miss Keanu Thompson. What do you think, Quad, when you see? So this is her, by the way. This is her Twitter picture. So this is not like just some random picture that I pulled out. This is specifically the picture that Keanu Thompson uses to represent herself. What do you see when you like look at this picture? What jumps out at you? Exactly, right? These like dead
crazy
doll
eyes.
These crazy like doll eyes. There
Like,
is something
through you.
weird
Yeah.
with this chick. Am
I
I
mean,
right?
like if that was a picture on the wall, wouldn't you would like if you're walking around your house and you had like that photo up on the wall, you would just think the eyes were following you everywhere you went. It's one of those kind of photos.
Yeah, it's like the eyes go, whichever way you
Yeah.
go in the room, the eyes are following you, like cat eyes almost. But
Yeah.
yeah, and this is her. So this is the studio that she's in. Another thing I just wanted to call out on the pictures before we even talk at all about Miss Keanu. If I can find it. Another thing that I've
This
noticed
lady
about
stole my background.
her, it's just very similar.
Yeah,
to
we don't have
Background
to
World.
see her studio. Quad's in it.
She's an idea thief.
Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of so these are all like the pictures that she has on Twitter. So I'm just gonna go through these really quick and just kind of scroll. But like, remember this picture right here that you're seeing right now. Very similar to the picture we just showed before. There's that. Okay, there's this one. We'll load more. There's this one. There's this one.
That one I don't like.
There's this one. What do these pictures all have in common?
Everything.
Everything.
Except for the outfit. Except for the outfit.
She takes the same creepy selfie before every show every day in this little corner. And now I at first I was like, okay, she's really weird because it's always in the same thing. But really, I think it's because their apartment is so small that this is like the only it's kind of like the Chad studio or just kind of put a couple things up on a wall in a corner. But
I think that's in the bed. Might be in their bedroom, in the corner, because the way the layout of their apartment is, it's it's like a kind of a long apartment. So you have the kitchen and the bathroom, and you have the living room, and then it goes right into the bedroom. I mean, by New York standards, it's kind of big, for a New York City apartment, but it's all goes down a straight line.
I have Gino's address and I've looked up his apartment and it is quite big. It
is. No, it's
gigantic for New York City.
I looked it up too, and I looked it up actually. They had a listing for it like before he moved in. It was really nice. There was like all this artwork in there. It was real, like an artist lived there. It was beautiful.
Exactly. Gino gave me his address, by the way. I didn't go psycho weirdo.
It's an interesting neighborhood, though, right?
I'm putting it on you. I've done it to everybody else, but not him.
I did because I wanted to see if you lived above a White Castle.
He actually
the building's like historic and it's cool looking.
No, it's cool. I like that. I like those old buildings, so I can't really knock the apartment at all.
Yeah. It's long. It's kind of skinny, but it's long.
They used to call them houses like that. They're sort of like in New Orleans. They're called shotgun houses, and they're also called railroad houses. They're be like where the whole thing is long and long and narrow, and nothing goes off to the left or the right. It's like just one gigantic, one long kind of tunnel. So, but the apartment, I can't knock the apartment. It really, he's got especially the kitchen, is a really decent sized kitchen for a New York City apartment.
Kwa, what have you thought about this week with Keanu now everybody's like, go Keanu, stick it to Ricada. You won. You showed up those boys 5-on-1. Like, number one, have you been following that whole thing? And number two, what's your read on that situation? Is Keanu winning? Is it another win for the toe, or what's going on here? From your summarization.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. She's getting a lot of attention, and that was the goal. So, absolutely, she's winning in that respect. Whether you think like every single detail that was brought up during 3 hours of the argument, that it was like a 2.5 hour argument. So, whether or not anybody got caught up in all the little tiny minutia of like this date versus that date, or I would say just sitting back, being objective at how it looked and seemed, absolutely Keanu looked like she was owning that conversation. I will say I was kind of surprised because you would think Nick Rekieta would be a little bit better at fucking getting his point across as like a lawyer would. You would just
Exactly.
expect a little bit more of him. So he did come up short. And he got pissed off, and like he lost it in that way. So I would say that Keanu wants attention. She got on the show. She got the win in my mind to that point that she looked better during the show. And she's been on MLC. She's been on all these other shows and getting all the attention. So you take all that into account, Keanu got the win. That's just is what it is.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I think if the way it all went down, it's kind of it's a bad look when you've got people that are all kind of teaming up on her a little bit. I think that probably plays into her favor. It's kind of like you're kind of even though she asked for the link and she wanted to do it, so nobody put her in a bad spot. She knew what she was getting into, and then and the fact that Nick just couldn't keep his cool. He obviously got very in his feels and his emotions.
That's it. That's how she won. When you can make the other person freak out and start screaming, you win by default.
And plus, whatever the clips that have come out since the argument, like most of them aren't about Keanu. Most of them are just flat out flubs from Nick. And the biggest one was responding to the AI, and it started screaming at the AI. That was like the biggest faux pas, the biggest mistake made during the argument. And everybody's kind of leaning on that one because he had made a statement in the past that if you can't tell the difference between an AI voice and a real voice, then you're stupid and you don't deserve to live or something. Like he made a statement like that, and it was like that's a pretty tough one to come back from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when he's, a litigator and, you just fold like that. But on the other hand, to his defense, he wasn't expecting to share the stage with her. She asked for the link and they brought her on. So all of a sudden he gets hot and bothered because now she's on there and he's got all these emotions pent up. I mean, what would have been interesting would be to have it almost like a debate where it's planned that they go on and that there's somebody neutral-ish, I guess, moderating it that can mute the other party when they talk out of turn or they go on and on. Because for a while it's like this one's stepping on this one and this one's shouting and that one's shouting and you're really not getting any points that they're making if they're making any.
Yeah. First off, I would say that pretty much all the stuff they argued about, nobody gives a shit about.
Right.
Like,
right.
The nuances and the minutia of all the stuff they were arguing about, pointless. Nobody cared before, and nobody cares after. It was pretty much just like who made themselves look bad or look good.
Right.
The other thing is, Carl sent Keanu the link.
Yeah, I believe so.
If it was up to Melton, that link would have never been sent. And I see why.
Right.
Because in the case of like this little piggy universe, you really do actually want a bubble. say like people will probably think I'm being like I'm just being objective. Like you really actually don't want outside forces like creeping into your world. You really do want to set the talking points. You don't want to have an argument. You just want to say like Aaron's an idiot because of this and this and move on. Having an argument, then people can break down your points, and then you don't get to run the narrative. And this little piggy is 100% a narrative based show, just like Steel Toe Morning Show is a narrative based show. When that's why Steel Toe doesn't allow like arguments or any of those kinds of things. He's not having people on to debate him. He can't allow that.
Right.
His audience would see it, and some of his arguments would fall apart. That's not a good look. Just like this little piggy, they can't let outside forces in because it's a bad look. They can have people that can add on to the conversation, but not take away from it. And having Keanu was a mistake. Carl probably regrets it after all said and done.
I'm sure.
Carl knows he
Yeah.
fucked up. You could see it in his eyes. He's like, "Oh, what did I do?" Because they lost total control of the situation. It was like a boulder rolling down a hill at that point. People just screaming at each other and ad hominems going back and forth. And
But you know what? Somebody needed to take control and say, you know what? We're not doing this today. And if you didn't want her on there, kick her. Just kick her out. Say, we're not doing this today.
Well, Melton wasn't going to do it. He's making too much money.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the other winner of the day, right? Is just the money.
Make like 20 grand or something, or I heard some crazy number of how much he made, and he doesn't split it with anybody. He just keeps it all. So like he made definitely like over 10 grand, I think, that day. Am I right?
I heard 1,200, but you could be
I think
okay, maybe all right, maybe I'm dreaming, but whatever it was in the thousands.
It seemed like a lot.
It seemed like it just kept coming in too, because people were doing those super tips.
Reading them. There were so many. It was like, Jesus, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, well, there's enough super tips. You don't know if you're talking to the super tip or the person. That's a good sign that you're making some decent cash. But this video, I went through the history of this Keanu. Well, first off, my whole thing with Keanu and why so people will say, even somebody I think at the beginning, and I'll even put the message up. Dan, are you a Baldo guard now? Somebody asked me at the beginning of the show. No, I am not a Baldo guard, but I'm also not a Keanu guard either. I'm not a you go girl for Keanu, because Keanu, time and time again, has proven that there's nobody that she won't turn her back on or backstab. There's nobody that she won't change allegiances with. And there's no woman who's got more attention than her that she won't fucking try to cut out at the knees or be catty with. And there's a lot of them. She got thrown off of Simpcast for Melanie Mack and some stuff that she was saying about Melanie Mack.
She's back now. She is back now. I guess they
on Simp, but Melanie Mack isn't back on Simpcast.
No, Melanie Mack's gone, I believe.
Yes. So Melanie Mack, who has 10 times as much clout as Keanu. So Chrissy lost Melanie Mack, who actually gets eyes on her show to get and out, but Keanu's back because they're buddies. So she did that. The April stuff. This is the thing that with this whole situation, she says time and time again, "Oh, April's my friend, and you hurt my friend." I don't know about you guys. Deb, any friends of yours that you have where you show other people's like intimate text messages on shows?
I don't show DMs, text messages. That somebody sends me something that's private and confidential. I never do. Or
doxing your friends.
Oh, no.
My friends
my real friends, I know where they live and everything, but no, I don't dox people. I'm very against that. I don't share DMs. If anybody DMs me on Twitter and stuff, I don't share it with anybody. I've gotten emails. I don't share those. Absolutely not. That's even if I have a falling out, I'm not going to start saying, well, now I don't like this person, so I'm going to show everything that they sent me. And that was the one thing, I know that was their big thing at Hackamania, but that was the one thing I kind of felt like wasn't that cool was to show all those text messages with, even though April, I guess, gave permission. I don't know. It just felt like, you know what I mean? Like
It felt really
dirty, I
and
guess.
steamy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's been like the biggest thing they've been crushing Keanu about is her like she's like, oh, how dare you guys read all of April's texts? But it was like, Keanu, you've talked about conversations you had with April on the phone. You've talked all about the text messages you got many, many times. I saw her do it on shows. So like that being a point of contention, that's what I mean. Like when you start breaking down the minutia of what they were arguing about, it's like y'all are all guilty of all the stuff you guys were complaining about. So that's what makes it so weird.
and Gummo
Gummo
dude.
dude.
Yeah, I had to read that a couple. Sorry about that. I'm doing a chat. I'm stumbling here.
dude.
Gummo dude. This is mostly about a huge community who hates Nick more than people supporting Kiki. I think that's a pretty good point. That, you know, they're kind of gonna sort of back Kiki in this because they want to see Nick get owned.
Yeah, Nick has a lot of haters.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
it's equal though. Like there's factions on both sides. I'm not even sure which one's the larger faction, but Nick Rekieta definitely in the past has made a lot of enemies with the law tubing stuff. So maybe there's a larger contingency that wants to see him do bad, I guess. So yeah, that does make sense, Gummo dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people are now in the Melton camp. Carl's show's huge. Melton's big. Like these shows are very big, and they're all supporting Nick Rekieta. So he actually does have some backing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean. Like it's might be more equal than we give it credit for at this point.
I would say right now in the Dabbleverse kind of world, I would say Melton's show is number one.
Okay.
I do.
I don't disagree.
I think he's got a lot of viewers. He's
been around the longest too, so you would think that you would
around.
create an audience over a long period of time, and he
may have,
formula.
you know, I learned about him from Red Bar originally before Dabbleverse was even a thought in my mind.
For that, I'll play the.
You had a Red Bar ready, but yeah, that's how I knew about Melton from Red Bar. You know, because Melton did the show with Josh Denny for many years. Josh Denny lives in Melton's old apartment in LA. So that's how I knew about like Josh Denny and Patrick Melton, but I really didn't watch Nobody Likes Onions. And then he sort of came on the scene, like he was on KB's show, and KB was like going to bring him on, I guess, as a Monday, you know, like was it Monday with Melton or something? And that fell apart.
Yeah, he did the 10-pack of them.
Yeah. And that didn't, of course, you know, it's hard. I can't imagine people very long want to work with Kevin, you know, except like the people that are, you know, the sort of on the bottom, you know, for lack of a better word.
Whack Packers.
Yeah, basically. I was trying to be nice, but, well, I guess saying they're on the bottom isn't very nice, but, yeah, Whack Packers. So Melton's kind of got a lot of this audience, and Melton puts on a good show. Melton can put on a 4-hour show without having a co-host, and he makes me laugh. He makes great points. His show is very well organized, and you know, I'm not as like interested, honestly, in Aaron and the steel toe stuff. I find Aaron very boring. You know, it's just bag. I never watch. I've only watched clips. It's the only time I'm kind of interested is when there's like a scandal.
And by the way, if I was going to fuck children, I'd find hotter ones. Your daughter's ugly and fat. Bring me a hot 10-year-old. If I'm going to go to jail, it's going to be worth it.
A classic Melton.
Classic. But yeah, I think Melton's got the top show, in my opinion, as far as viewers, in revenue. He gets a ton of gifted memberships. He gets a ton of super tips. And he's got the top show. And
So
I'm
you'll
not-
make him better than KB?
Hello?
Hello?
What?
Is the mic on or no?
Can you, like, shut up?
Dave, Sarah, and Butthead have a lot resemblance there.
Wait. Speaking of Dave, Sarah, I've got to show my doll.
You haven't defiled the doll like Dave, Sarah has his. Have you?
No. But yes, I sillily ordered this when I think I was a little high on painkillers, and I just pushed order. But they did send me 2.
Reverend Rage. Deb loved Kev until he didn't accept her gift.
No, I didn't. No, you know what? When I didn't love Kev, when he treated Grant like a piece of garbage. I don't care that he doesn't accept my gift. I mean, I just don't care, and I just saw him be a shitty person. I had an impression of him as this crank that had a good heart because he helped people. Like I remember he helped Peng Dang, that Chinese comedian. He helped Pat Dixon get a lawyer. So I said, this guy, he does make me laugh still, but I just like, it's got nothing to do with me. I don't care. My interaction with him was probably under a minute. I introduced myself to him. He took the hats. Then he yelled at Grant and just, for no reason. Grant,
his father, whatever he said.
Yeah. But, so you know what? I think is this Soft Weekly? KB sucks old man dick. But, you know what? I do have it gifted. Reverend Billy, now Reverend Rage, I have had it gifted from Mountain for 14 months. I've had it gifted from Shuley Network for, I guess, 8 months now, if it renewed. But
it doesn't even seem like you have to watch the Shuley Network and you get like a gifted membership.
You know what?
They just come out of thin air. They just pop into your account.
I didn't watch And Hello for the longest time, and I had it. I only watched I watch Shuley when he does the Aunt Karen show, and I don't watch the whole thing. I always get it gifted from them, and from Patrick Melton. But they both have tons of gifted memberships. But I don't know how you get it if you don't watch it. I don't get it for any other show. Oh, I did get it for Echo Pineapple once, and I wasn't watching.
Do you know what this video, by the way, Deb, is? This red bar. Does this look familiar for you?
Probably not.
Ain't got no money. Flat broke.
Oh yeah, Flat Broke. Yeah.
He's always looking so damn crummy. Flat broke Chino.
I love this.
Ain't nobody think he's funny. He can't move out of the projects because Gino is Flat Broke.
Flat Broke.
And then I would lower and I would go right into the Gino news of the week. So hopefully we'll have.
So Gino was an original fool back in the day of Red Bar. Then he used to have some fun with Gino. Is that you know Red Bar better than I do, Deb?
Yeah, he had a little fun at Gino's expense. I mean, original fools, like Melton was an original fool at the time, and Red Bar's since kind of like turned on that, and he kind of, I think, has a respect for Melton, but yeah, Gino was a little bit. Yeah, Gino was a fool because Kumia is a huge one of Red Bar's like top fools. So it's Kumia, and then it's by extension, it was anybody like associated with Kumia. Like one clip Red Bar had is they were in, maybe it was after a show, and they were Gino and Kumia were drunk, and they were like having like a garbage fight. There were bags of garbage on the street, and they were like kicking them and throwing them at each other because they were drunk. So Red Bar had a big clip about how they were like, fighting with trash bags in the city.
Yeah.
True. These guys are true garbage.
Right.
Now he's selling garbage cans, so it all comes full circle for Gino.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So this is funny. So I was going through old My Lost Interest clips, which, by the way, what happened to My Lost Interest? Where did this fucking
He's
guy
a toe
go?
boy. He's a toe boy. He's always in the toe chat, but
But he's not doing clip videos anymore.
he's
I
got
think
the
he
cool.
got just overwhelmed with it, and then like Stalin came into the picture and just like went
Doom
absolutely
and
Stalin
dog
kind of
shit.
his legs out.
Like Stalin just, yeah, dude. Stalin was all over every single clip that you could think of that would be relevant. And I think My Lost Interest took a little bit more time, and you know what I mean, tried to anyway, it got lost about the time that Stalin came out. I think just a few weeks later he was gone. So he saw it was like Doom, Stalin, these guys are better, faster. It's over. And he realized it, so he just quit.
I like all these guys. I actually really liked My Lost Interest's style, especially how he'd put in big letters,
Yeah.
like what it was about.
I do like that
I
style.
think
I
it's
love
really-
that.
You're like, you know exactly what you're getting into, and he also would condense them down so they're really like tighter clips.
Exactly. Yeah,
So I-
Stalin's are loosey goosey, and the audio and
throw too
the
much in there. It's just like it's too
audio's not
dense.
as good, and then the picture quality is not as good. If
I
you
mean,
have
Doom is obviously the king.
Doom's
but
on point.
Doom is the king. And I like Stalin, so it's not
I
not
like
even like
the only
negative
thing
or anything. It's
I
just
love Stalin,
No,
but
I
the
use
only
this clips
thing
every day.
the only thing I don't like that Stalin does is he bleeps out the curse words.
yeah. What's up with that? Like,
Hey, what the fuck, man?
That's
he
like
trying-
yeah.
trying to get kids to watch the videos.
But
Like, what's
but
going-
I love Stalin.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. We like Stalin. We
Yeah.
like all the Clippers. But My Lost Interest, we miss you. And the good news, My Lost Interest, your clips live on, and you gave me a lot of good reading material as I went through this. So, long story short, and once again, I don't like doing clip shows and playing a ton of clips. But if you go through this history, go back a year, Keanu was pro steel toe reading Nick's chats. Then she was anti steel toe, and then she was reading. And she's a French door back and forth. I found this video very funny, especially since the title was Keanu's lifeless doll eyes, which we were talking about before. Because yes, Keanu has lifeless doll eyes, but this was basically Keanu a week or two or a month earlier had gone on with steel toe and was snaking Nick, and they were all buddy, but that alliance didn't last very long. So I'm just gonna play this as a quick little clip.
Director says, why are Gino and Keanu so irrelevant now? Well, I think they kind of showed their stripes. They showed the quality of human being they were. Keanu more so than Gino, and I think people saw through it. And one thing I will thank the internet for is that they've read my whole situation, and those two, they've read that completely right. And it's really nice to see them get that right, because it's like they're in the fucking room, and they have fucking nailed it on that one. And I don't think Keanu feels a lot, so I don't think it bothers her, which is good.
She's just dead inside.
If she had any feeling, the way people view her now should be, I think we should be impressed that she isn't broken. But if she had,
This is actually a really brutal takedown by Steel Toe, and I hate to say it, but I kind of agree with what he's saying, that she doesn't really. I don't know if it's because she's what would we say, not the brightest bulb, or she's just so fixated on the clout that she gets. Quad, why do you think Kiki is the way she is? What motivates Kiki? What is her origin for, like, why she behaves the way that she does, do you think?
Yeah, that's very
Loaded question.
hard to say. I mean, she thinks of herself as a comedian. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say, but I would say the clout thing. It's very obvious. Maybe thinks of herself as a little bit higher level entertainer than anybody else is willing to consider her. I mean, Chrissy Mayer has definitely had her around for a long time. I mean, I really don't want to beat her up and besmirch her, but
Right.
I know.
She is.
how many people have tried
beat her
to
up.
be something? How many people have tried to be
lot of
something in
people.
Hollywood or anywhere else? And
Yes.
Right.
whatever. So she didn't make it. So be it. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's why she's in the
I'll
Dabbleverse.
tell you, I met her in person, and she's a lovely person. At least, I mean, when I met her, she
exactly.
was a lovely person. And probably,
And,
yeah, I met her at a comedians at the conference.
I like the kind of things that she wants to argue with everybody about, like, oh, I'm still a comedian. It's like, me and Gino, we're still booking gigs all over the place. And it's like, well, if you actually go look into it, you're really not. You guys aren't crushing it as comedians. And
Was she ever really a stand-up comedian though? It's kind of a lot.
That's hard for me to say.
Yeah, she was. She was kind of doing the New York circuit.
Ladies come and go on the New York circuit, like they're a dime a dozen kind of thing.
Well, they usually kind of go through Louis J. Gomez. I mean, they all, or I should say, he passes through all.
I was gonna say, I think Louis J. Gomez would have even passed on this one. I think he's got a little bit of. She's a very attractive, sweet woman.
Right. But yeah, I mean, look at the numbers. I mean, all you got to do is look at, like she's struggling to get 500 views per show.
She gets nice podcast stupid numbers. Let's be honest. Like her numbers are not that different than what we get. I mean, it's not. Right. And she's got a lot more name recognition.
And that's not good if you're trying to.
She got a bump this week.
She gets a bump here and there, though. You know what I mean? It's like she'll go along and not get any numbers, and then something will happen. She'll get numbers for a week, but then they go right back down. So they don't they don't
cry in the New York Post about a story that's 5 years old, and woe is me, and tell her a little story, and then get a little bump, and then goes back to purity the next week. I mean, she's put out more videos and more appearances this week. She is really squeezing everything she can get out of this thing. I think there's 10 videos on her channel that are all about the TLP performance there, the My Little Piggy or whatever, this Little Piggy show. So, good for her. Good for her. She's really doing it. But let me just play just the end of this because it really just summarizes what Aaron thinks of her.
She had a human soul, she would be.
She's got lifeless eyes.
Oh, like a doll's eyes. But she is just being raked over the coals. Will Heron TV just fucking smoked her bad. It's funny. People who clip Keanu get more views than Keanu.
This is right after
that's always
Clipper
fun.
thing.
But I will say this.
Yeah, this was right after Clipper Gate. So yeah, this is Will Heron got some good digs in on her. I've seen your butthole, Kiki.
Yeah. That happened on BYB.
How do I put this? I know what Gino's tried to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I appreciate some of it.
Okay.
I want to make that very clear.
Okay.
I know, and people know what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
I know what Gino's tried to do. I've read some papers about what Gino tried to do, and I really appreciate it. And I wish he wasn't stuck in the situation he was. And I just want him to know I didn't put you there. I didn't put you there.
Say what you will about Aaron, but he's good for play-by-play on the state of the where people are with different things and people snaking on each other. He gets his little radio guy thing going, and he really could do a good job. This is one place where he actually shines, where he's talking about people snaking on each other, and he's even got kind of the reference to Jaws and some other things that are pretty good. So this is where he's actually good.
I wish he didn't beg so much. And I think I'd enjoy watching it more.
If he didn't beg and he didn't talk about, he doesn't have to talk about Dabbleverse stuff.
No,
I don't. I actually think he would benefit from, all his audience hates when he talks about the Dabbleverse shit.
That was kind of like Dan had, your original audience hated the Dabbleverse stuff to come into it. Dan.
Yeah, I had a lot of pushback on the Dabbleverse stuff.
But they were also, Kevin did say something about us originally, and it still makes me laugh. He said even their own chat hates them.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
It was funny.
Half hate, half love. That's what we always want. There's some other. I want to play one other thing too. This was April talking about, or excuse me, Keanu about how supportive she was of April because, she's ride or die with April.
We don't have to listen to this, do we? Bing, bing, bing.
No, we don't have to do that actually.
Bing, bing.
Drag her down with him, and it's a very difficult thing to say to somebody that's in love with somebody, right? But at some point you do have to go. And I told her, we've been talking on the phone at length, and I said, I'm not saying this man can't get his shit together. But do you think he has his shit together? Also, you're living in the house that is for sale on his property.
Now, she's only met April in real life twice, right? There was like 2 times I think that they met. And she like plays it off like
they
they're
went
best
out there
friends.
for the anniversary show, and then a little bit later they went watched the football game with them.
Yeah, so it's all she's very like, oh yeah, she's my friend April, and I know what's best for April, and giving all this advice, and maybe
Okay,
maybe
here's-
April's dumb too. I don't know. Maybe April
Oh,
wants
definitely.
advice from her.
We watched her enough to know she's dumb. Come on, man. Let's
That's
be
true.
serious. April was a dipshit, but that's all right. She was there for looks, not for and for to be a whipping post for Aaron.
Somebody called her a human fleshlight, and I thought that was an interesting
Yeah.
analogy for Miss April. There was one, and this could be the last clip that we'll just check.
And if that's the case, then fine.
But pretty antisocial ladies. I almost call them broads. Those broads, that redheaded broad and her little sidekick. So this is how it just shows how brilliant Keanu is. So Steel Toe has he can't talk about, I think, the Kayla situation, right? Or he has like a gag order.
He can't say the word Kayla. He can't talk about Kayla. He can't. It said it's put in his HRO thing that he can't like play things that are said about Kayla, or like his guests can't talk about. Like it's pretty strict, really. Like all social media, which includes YouTube, like there can be no mention of Kayla around him, near him, anywhere near. It's bad.
So of course he goes
it happens
right on.
constantly. Someone did it to him while he was stream sniping pretty antisocial ladies yesterday.
Oh yeah. So people and of course there's trolls that are trying to catch him, but who comes on, who flies in, calls into Steel Toe, and what does she lead off with?
And if that's the case, then fine. Or could it just be like, hey, we'll put this out there now so that Kayla doesn't know that we're still boning?
I can't comment. I can't comment. I can't comment. I can't comment on any of that.
I don't know who that is. Yeah, no, exactly. But just a quandary.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. Thank you for the call, Keanu, and thank you for the theory.
KKYL.
All right.
Kiki YL, is that what she said at the end? Oh my god.
Kiki you later.
Kiki you later. Jesus Christ. There's one word you cannot say, one topic you cannot talk about. And she's like, let me tell you my theory about Kayla and taking the picture. And it's like, oh my God, you dummy.
Why do you think he turned his phone line off?
Yeah, don't call me, bitch.
Well, no one can call him because that's what people would just call and say, Kayla.
Oh yeah, remember that one time that who was it? It was somebody called him and would they say the N-word or so? Of course, that's why he can't take calls because there's just too many people trying to.
You can't take live. No. Speaking of calls, did we get any calls on the FU line?
I don't know. Let me put up the number. If you want to call, we have an FU line. So because I rip off Chad on everything, guys, right? So I took Chad's look, the hat and the sunglasses. I'm a wacky radio guy. We're gonna do. By the way, later on we'll do the money. What does he call it? The hype train. We'll do a hype train later, maybe. And
we got to put up. You know what? Now would be a good time to put up the Prezzies.
Sorry, that was my Chad.
How about we run the Prezzies interstitial?
Yes. So Deb can receive Prezzies. We can receive Prezzies.
Yeah.
But if you only want him to go to Deb's the one that really it goes to. So how do you get a Prezzie to Deb? And by the way, if you send a Prezzie, we'll show it on the show. We'll open it up. We'll give you credit. ST Ranger had an awesome Prezzie pack.
Mr.
Permaseal Finishing. The Permaseal Finishing had a nice Prezzie. So
I didn't check it this week, so I don't know if it came, but we have a new address also. Just want to let you guys know if you wrote down, and you can send us
the right address.
You can send us fan art.
No dick pics, please.
No dick pics, please.
No dick Polaroids. But here's how you send Prezzies. I hope I have the right address. If not, I'll change it later.
You do.
Send Deb prezzies. We want more prezzies that we can open up and share with the. Yeah, if you want. Yeah, we got some artist Taz. If you want to draw some tasteful nudes of Deb,
No.
or Karmic, if you're watching the replay and you want to.
Oh God,
Put some
Karmic.
AI art of Deb
I'd
dancing
have like
around to
boobs out to
Borderline
here.
with what does
See-
Kumia say?
Big fucking tits.
See, now I'm intrigued by Karmic. I feel badly for saying such harsh things about his show. I'm intrigued by this stuff I didn't know about him, like the porn hobby. I'm assuming he just wrote them for himself, or Quad, did he say mailed them to producers?
He did it for a living.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he knows. He's like a porn industry insider, folks.
How far back do I have to go to find these porn pictures? Quad.
Oh, I didn't know that because I know he
They're
worked
the oldest thing you can find on there. If you look, the picture.
Oh
if you look
my
at photos,
Okay, I could share this one. I think I could share this. We got to share him before he takes him down. So
yeah, I know. I do. I worry that he will take them all down now.
Oh my gosh.
those
That's hysterical.
Permission to come aboard, Captain.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Let's see if there's any other ones I could.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, don't play the videos because there's the camel toe sizes are equal to the boob sizes, folks.
Okay, I think this is
super fucking creepy shit. Yeah, I was like, I just happened to. I was like, I was looking for a photo of him.
No,
honestly.
you know what? You know, you know what? I like that. Look at the guys. They're like zombies or something.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of a zombie when I see boobs that big too. Honestly, like like what's going
That
on.
explains. Okay, that explains the leather dice jacket.
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah. Okay.
I got one more I'm going to show. Okay. This one, this is a real permission to come aboard one. By the way, these can all be found on Karmic X Live at Carmichael3D, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Permission to come aboard, sir. Look at those fucking ridiculous honkers.
Well, at least if the boat sinks, she'll be okay.
Yeah. Flotation devices right there.
Flotation devices.
Yeah. Deb gets it.
Any other topics you guys want to cover? Anything else? I think we've, I don't want to. I think I've beat up on Kiki enough. I guess. Long story short,
I feel bad actually. To be honest with you,
I do.
I feel gross every time
gross.
I fuck with
picking on women.
Because I actually like Kiki and Gino. To be honest with you, I kind of consider them like friends.
I feel bad too, like
internet world,
because it seems like women get a lot of the brunt of things, like, you know, somebody calling April a human fleshlight. That, you know, that's
did I say that?
I know she doesn't listen to anything.
No,
anymore.
I know.
Like, I don't feel bad bashing on April, but I know Keanu will still watch his shit. So it's like every time I say something bad, it's like, fuck, I hope she don't hear that because that's mean.
Michaela says, "Who doesn't have a porn hobby?" Good point, Michaela. Who doesn't love to dabble?
Well, we all
little...
look at porn, but to be like involved with the creation of said porn is a whole other story.
Rick Thomas, show feet dab. When we get the monetization back.
I did get the
Did you get the feetsies did?
I did, but you know what? I'm having nerve pain, so I don't in the one foot, so I don't want to like kick my feet up on camera for tonight. But I did get my feetsies done, and I'll get them done again. I keep up with my feetsies; they're nice and smooth. We need Riles back. Riles likes the feet.
Yeah, Riles is a big. He loves the flat cat feet pics. She loves showing off those toesy woesies. Yeah, I think we'll end it there. Yeah, I think we overkilled a little bit on it. We love you, Gina and Kiki. You guys are sweethearts. I feel bad now. I feel bad. Quad, we're gonna have to delete this episode. Now I feel
That's
bad.
it. We just wasted
You
our
were
time.
mean. You were
Sorry,
so
guys.
mean.
Go home, guys. It was a waste. Ah.
So
No,
Quad,
Just got a job. He's killing it out there. Come on, man. Everybody beat up on Gino for not having a job for all those. And then we come to find out he did have a job. See, we're so mean.
that's the thing. I'm gonna give him credit. Good job, Gino. Like it, it took you 57 years or whatever, but you finally got a job, and that's good.
I'm just pissed that he stole my fucking my studio.
I know.
Yeah.
How hard was it? What do you use? Are you a Chat GPT guy? Is that how you create those?
Yeah.
Lovelies?
Yeah.
Chat GPT is friggin'. What do you think about AI in general? Do you think the robots are going to take over, Quad? Do you think we're all going to be like submitting?
They will. When it's going to be like Skynet. It's Terminator is coming for us. We're all going to be in Terminator. I guess we're going to have to wait a couple years, but I do not. I mean, especially watching a show like Karmic X makes me hate AI. And now I'm seeing like AI that's almost fucking realistic now on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can catch it. It's just slightly. But man, I'm starting to wonder, it's like, oh shit, we're really just a few years away from like actual you're not going to be able to catch it. There is going to become a point where it's too good.
I remember not
damn,
too
dude.
long ago, AI. And Dan, remember on the forums, on the ONA forums, like everybody was making like Anthony Cumia AIs, but it was all twisted. Like it couldn't get any of the features right. And it was like kind of grotesque. Like it just like the nose, it was like a Picasso or something. The nose would be over here. And it was really bad. And that was maybe a year ago.
It looks
and
like
then
clay faces.
Yeah, it was all
disjointed.
distorted. It was grotesque. And then it got a little better, but then the girls would have, like if you did a girl, let's say, she'd have 6 fingers. She looked real, but then you look at the fingers. Or she's missed, there's an extra finger, or they're missing a finger. Now it looks pretty realistic in these deep fake videos. I mean, and that now you get into some scary territory with that.
You see those videos that Michaela likes to look at that have AOC's face on somebody else's body, and they're like, "Oh, wow, that's a big video there."
But
mark that one.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun. And I mean, eventually, it's going to put people out of work, but it's also going to create jobs in that field to refine the code for the AI.
In 5 years, half the jobs are going to go away.
Graphic designers are going to be out of business. They're already having a tough job market. Graphic designers. I mean,
my favorite part is that all the blue collar workers are going to survive. It's all the white collar workers that are going to be losing their jobs. So I can actually get a kick out of that.
Teacher, by the way, all the female jobs are going. All the female jobs.
You know what?
Teachers, nurses, no more.
Well, nurses. There's certain jobs. Nurses, anything hands-on will always be there. You'll always need a nurse, a doctor. A plumber.
But I'll tell you, a lot of the medical stuff is going to go away. Like people are going to be able to, it's like WebMD, but with a fucking, Chat GPT doing it for you, like telling you everything about what's wrong with you. Yeah, exactly. You might have a better chance of living without having the human intervention involved.
It's funny because we do self-diagnose now. I mean, when you get a new doctor, you just go in there and you can say, well, I'm on this, I was on this, and this. And they just give it to you. You self-diagnose. You can get prescriptions for anything online. You fill out a little form. You don't even do a video interview. Amazon.
Boner pills, you can get those now.
Yeah, they have all that. When you go on Reddit, you'll see all these ads for boner pills and hair pills for guys, and they just have to fill out something, pay for it, and it comes to your door.
Yeah.
So there you go, Dan. Those hair pills.
Well, I tried. The problem with the hair pills is then you need the boner pills because the hair pills screw that up, and then you get and then next thing, oh, Gina Bobina's here. Gina, what
Hi,
are you doing?
Gina. How
What
are
you doing,
you?
my life girlfriend? We love Gina Bobina.
We love all the ladies. That's why we're trying to be nicer to them and not.
I know. I think well, you know what's funny? Half the female audience was like, "Yeah, Dan, give it to Kiki." The other half are like, "Dan, you're mean."
Yeah, Dan, you're mean anyway. That's good though. Somebody has to be mean. I like your $2 super chats. They get all upset over that.
I heard Sorcerer was spotted mixing paint at a Lowe's in Sheboygan. I don't even know what that means. Well, Gina, unfortunately, we're not doing another hour, so hopefully Rob Saul or actually, I think Shmuel Buckman might be going live. Everybody loves Shmuel Buckman.
Shmuel's a great guy. He's such a nice guy. He really
Shmuel.
is. He's a calming force around here.
Yes. So, Quad, we can find you. We know where to find you. BYB Podcast, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sunday, weekly wrap-up show. What else? What else you got? What else you want to promote there, Quadly?
Yeah, tomorrow night we got the great Pat Dixon.
Pat Dixon. Pat Dixon's making the rounds on YouTube. That's good.
Chad was saying that. Oh, Pat, he said something. Things aren't going well when you're going on with Rob Saul and Nice Podcast, Stupid, and now you're going on with BYB. So yeah, things are not going.
You know what Chad would like to have more than anything in the world? One person that would consistently go on a show that's not named Dr. Chow.
Did you saw the Adam Bush episode where he went on with Chad, right? Did you catch that one? That was
that was
still
great.
Doesn't realize he was getting trolled the whole time. He has
his biggest fan is Doodle, one of his biggest fans, and she said, Chad, like he trolled you. And he didn't have to work hard to troll him. Chad did no research on Adam Bush and didn't ask insightful questions.
He didn't even pull up the Wikipedia. He knew nothing about Adam Bush whatsoever. It was like very, very bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to give kudos. I already kind of did. I DM'd him about it, but yeah, I don't know if you saw Adam Bush with Tom Myers.
No,
Dude,
I've got to watch that.
Great.
That's
it's amazing because Tom Myers really is another comedian, absolutely clueless, just like Chad. Like that, the comedian world is one of the weirdest places on. Like every single person is just clueless. I guess you kind of have to have something missing in your head to be able to stand up on a stage and bomb and be totally not self-aware of the situation and be able to, because that would probably crush normal people to the point they just would never do it more than one time. But somehow these guys get up on stage for year after year. Just sometimes you bomb, sometimes you don't. But what that would do to our psyches totally different than theirs. They don't have it. They'll do it over and over again. Don't care.
Hey, Dixon versus Karmic at CatalanoCon 26. There we go.
Quad, are you still doing QuadCon? Are you still going to make that happen?
Yeah. We're definitely planning on it, man.
Well, I'm also planning DevilCon, and it will also be in Reno it's either going to be at the Atlantis or the Peppermill, and it will be what day's QuadCon?
I'm announcing it to the last second.
I need to know.
You guys need to combine cons. You need to have.
Yeah. Of course, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Reno's a great little city.
I love Reno.
I know there's an issue with the airport getting planes into there, but you'll definitely have a connecting flight if is what it is.
I love Reno. I have family out there. I used to go about 4 times a year.
You get any poker tips for us that you could share? Any for those that want to? You do No Limit, I assume, right?
Who?
Oh, are you? Yeah. No Limit. Are you talking about
Hold'em, right?
Hold'em, like a 2-5 table with a no limit.
Yeah.
I like the no limit because if I'm sitting there with $1,000, I'll go all in any minute, no problem.
What's the biggest pot that you ever won?
Singular pot, just a